Hall of Famer Sed Bonner joins me. He said, quarterbacking at Arizona, you guys developed some great rivalries with these two teams, but you had to travel all across the country to get here. These guys are way too close.
It almost seemed like every year to get to the World Championship game, you had to go through Orlando or Tampa. These two teams have dominated this league, been very good over the years, and right now they look to get on track to do the same thing.
Well, Tampa took a little bit of a stumble. They have certainly gotten back on track, and they've done so by protecting that young quarterback of theirs again.
They really have enabled him early in the season. He was in such a good groove playing the game, making smart decisions, getting in and out of the pockets. But what happens early in the season? People compile playbooks against you. They get film on you. They figure out how to make it tough on you. Later in the season, you see him start to struggle lately, but he still played well enough to be ranked 4th in efficiency in the league. Done a nice job for this team. 80 total touchdowns. He's a dominant player.
Now, that's throughout the course of a season you learn more about a quarterback. What does 18 seasons do to learn about a quarterback, Aaron Garcia?
Holy cow. You only need to know one thing about AG. He is the toughest man to play this game. He will stare down the gun barrel and take a shot to throw that touchdown. It's going to be imperative on those big guys up front to get him going early in the game. Had early season struggles in San Jose, but since making the move to Orlando has been brilliant. 34 touchdowns, just 4 picks. Looks like the AG of old. He has been a dominant force at age 42. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Well, and needless to say, at 42, you've got to protect him. What are some other keys tonight?
Well, you got to pressure McPherson and do it smartly. Stay in your lanes. Don't get out of pocket if you're a defensive lineman. And for the young Tampa Bay team, they need to play with focus and maturity. They've lost 3 or 4 games. 2 of those games, they should have won those games easily in their own building. And a quick start for McPherson in the passing game will get it done for Tampa Bay.
Now, Cedric Bonner, the winningest quarterback in the history of the AFL. So a lot of reasons to celebrate, but I'm guessing that you didn't dance like some of these guys do now.
No, not even close. Grew up in a military household. Didn't have the moves some of these guys have. If I did, I probably would have disobeyed my dad and gone ahead and shook a boogie.
Or had you known that you could have done the tiller, the garden tiller, like Derek Ross. Well,
it's all about offense in the AFL, but it's also about those stops. If you can get them, the one stop in the first half went to the Preds on D.
Yeah, we used to believe if our defense got us 2 stops, we win the game no matter what. Orlando has that opportunity in the second half. They come out with the ball. We'll see what they can do with it. This ball has to get out and out in front. Davis shows off his speed, but you're going to see the nice push and run the post route. And he hasn't beat. That ball's got to be thrown into the end zone on the other side. But a great job of finishing the play by Coleman. Didn't give up on it. Played through the arms of the receiver, pulls it away.
So it is a first down and goal for the Preds. Over the boards, into the tables. Touchdown number 3. Preche Rodriguez.
That's a great job of understanding. Nice work by Preche. It's just a get open route. They ISO him to the field. AG throws it out a little late, but he one-hands it off the hip, but he never drops it on the ground. And all you got to do is show possession when you come back up. When you come back up, you don't have to have feet down in bounds. You just have to show possession, which he does right there the whole time. Touchdown.
Coach, you heard earlier that there's only going to be one quarterback dressed out for Utah. Talk about your defense's edge right now.
Well, I mean, we're going to get after the quarterback. We have all season, so maybe that's just a little extra spice for these guys.
Kyle Raleigh coming on board. You get an Arena Bowl champion. Talk about how grateful you are for that opportunity to get a guy like that in here this time.
Well, with our quarterback situation as it is right now, we were very fortunate that he's out there. We're glad to have him. Hopefully he goes out and has a good game tonight.
Appreciate it, Coach. Guys, it's not often an Arena Bowl champion falls on your doorstep.
So in our production meeting earlier today, Sed Bonner said, please don't make me stand next to Tommy Grady and interview him. He's 6'7", he'll make me look short. So Sed Bonner, instead we've got you Sean Bradley at 7'6" to interview. How's that?
Are you kidding me right now? Are you joking me right now? 7'6", probably closer to 7'7". BYU legend, well known throughout the area. Sean retired in 2005. What's up for Sean Bradley right now?
Oh, I'm just trying to be a good dad, especially this weekend, so that I can deserve what they're doing for me, right? I've got 6 kids. They play a bunch of different sports. We're local here in Salt Lake, and so we just are having a good time.
That's awesome. What do you think about the Utah Blaze, and do you often come to the games?
Well, we have season tickets. We love coming. In fact, I have to arm wrestle my daughters because they love coming. this is the first game I made it to this season because my kids love to come to this stuff, and so we enjoy coming. Brought my 2 boys tonight for Father's Day weekend, so it's a good game. They put on a good product, and we really enjoy coming.
Well, we appreciate you taking some time. BYU, go Cougars.
Go Cougs.
That's right.
Guys.
Hey, thank you,
Seth Bonner down on the sidelines. You're getting to see this from field level with a quarterback in his first start. What do you think about the play calling so far for Utah with Jason Boltis?
It's been very smart. He's done a good job. You know, you have to give Coach a lot of credit. He's allowed him to throw some screenplays, some quicks. You see the little bubble screen there, but he's also allowed him to take some 5-step the ball out of his hand in a man situation where you're knowing to get man-to-man coverage, and he's laid the ball out there for his guys like this. Well, I think he does a nice job getting the ball out. He's been coached very well. He's had some time in this offense. This offense is predicated on getting the ball out of your hand on time, and he's done a great job. Max Sott is vigilant about those little things, getting the ball in your hand, being able to throw a touch pass over the top of the defense. And when Coach James told us earlier that he has a strong arm, didn't impress me. We came out here and watched him throw some of these sail routes from about the 15, 12-yard line, and they dropped in the bucket. That impressed me. Kid has a very nice range in all of his throws. He's got a nice game. Kyle, 8 weeks off, blood, sweat, and tears kind of game. You guys fought your way back. How are your legs feeling right now?
I'm a little bit tired, running back and forth. I'm trying to get the plays in quick, so Coach Moss not helping me out very much.
And the little 16-yard scamper?
Yeah, I'm not. That's not really my forte. But I feel good. I feel like we're going to win the game.
What do you think strategically about what Jacksonville's been doing?
Well, I understand the onside, but with a rookie quarterback over there, pressure cooker, it's coming down to the wire. I'm going to go and force him to play smart football all the way down the field. I'm going to kick that thing deep and make them play mistake-free ball down the field.
I bring in my friend and partner and Hall of Famer, Cedric Bonner. And Cedric, we start with Eric Meyer. You played quarterback in this game for 16 seasons. What is Eric Meyer doing to make this team so successful this year?
It's crazy to watch his ability to get the ball out of his hand. He's putting up unprecedented numbers. Started coming out of college at Eastern Washington, was the Walter Payton Award winner, a dominant player. Thought he'd get a shot in the league. It didn't work out. Was here for a few years, a backup on the 2010 team. Didn't work out. Kept getting injured and injured. This year he seems to have found the remedy to get himself ready for the entire season. He's been flawless through 5 games. As you mentioned, 40 touchdowns, no interceptions. Unbelievable.
Simply amazing. Now we turn our focus back to Adrian McPherson. He's revolutionizing the quarterback position. Defensive coordinators now in arena football have to worry about a dual threat quarterback.
They really do. You can't just send your jack hot to the field. You every now and then have to play base coverage where you have 2 linebackers to spy on this guy who is on pace to break every rushing record in the Arena League. Already 14 rushing touchdowns, over 20 touchdown passes on the season as well. He's been dynamic in a lot of different areas, but I think his ability to throw the ball is what really surprises people. He's a very accurate passer.
Tell me about your philosophy in the red zone.
You have to be precise. You have to know your receivers. They have to know you. Your offense has to dictate everything you do down there as far as running your routes. If you've got a 3-step cut on the slant route, you can't go 2 steps. It's that precise. Need to take the time to know, because you're going to see not only man coverage, but you're going to see some zones where they're 5 across the field, so everybody has to be on the same page.
Talk about the adjustment, because it seems every end zone's a little bit different in the Arena Football League.
Really are. Some are traditional. They're 8 yards deep, but some stop at 5 and round themselves off. So if you're a team that loves to go to the corner in the red zone, it makes it a lot tougher to get that throw in there, and the defenders know that.
All right, let's go through some plays, and Sid's going to take us through it to show you what works and what doesn't work in the red zone.
Here you get a nice combination route here. They've got 2 to the field. You see the quick move inside and then the slant route outside, poorly thrown ball up and away, the defender able to get his hands and knock it away. Here you're going to see a banjo 2. You see the front side receiver locked up man-to-man. The other 2 are responsible for the 2 inside receivers. The crossing route just gives a short jab step outside like he's running out and crosses the field. Defensive back is lost.
All right, Wolf, alongside my friend and partner, Sid Bonner. And Sid, only 7 points for the Spokane Shock. Talk about that Tampa defense.
They've been doing a phenomenal job. It looks like a lot like the defenses I saw when I was playing against Tampa. Very physical on the back end as well as the front end up front, just whipping Spokane all over the ball.
Hi, everybody. I'm James Bates here with the Hall of Famer Cedric Bonner. Glad to have you with us, and just glad to be talking playoffs if you're an Orlando Predator fan. A team that started 0-5, Cedric, and they've changed some things with the coaching staff and with the players, and it has worked.
They've done a great job, and
They were originally going to have to put that gone fishing sticker out a long time ago. They've come on of late, got some veteran leadership on that team, talking about Aaron Garcia, and they've done a nice job of rallying.
They have rallied, but they need to clean things up if they want to make it to the playoffs and win some.
They really do need to clean up the miscues. They've had a lot of problems in every area, the special teams area, misplayed balls off the bar, just all those little luck plays. Minus 13 in the turnover margin. Undisciplined play, second most penalties in the league. These are the things that get you beat. Losing 3 or 4 games by 7 points or less. I mean, this is a team that just have not been able to finish games. But you look at the one bright spot for this Orlando Predator teams, 3 wide receivers. They'll probably get 3 guys over 1,000 yards receiving. These guys have been consistent all year. They've done a nice job being a rallying point for the Predators.
Now, unfortunately for the hometown Cleveland Gladiators, they will not play in postseason this year. But talking to Steve Tunn and knowing Steve Tunn, this is a team that absolutely will not fold the tent. Expect their best shot tonight.
Well, they're growing. This is a young team, so they're trying to figure out who they're going to have back for next season. Who's going to be a part of this team as they build for the future?
Well, you start with Goody. Dominic Goodman, as good as they come.
He really is. He's one of the special on-the-ball receivers, stationary guys. He goes up and makes all the tough catches. Some of the best hands in the Arena League. He's 3rd in the AFL in average yards per catch. Makes all the tough plays. Unafraid of the wall. Who is undefeated. He will go up against it. Makes all the big plays. This is a play that Chris Greisen made famous. You peek over here to pull the corner up, but then he tries to throw it around the official. The official will duck. Just throw it right in his head. He'll duck and get out of the way.
But you also know as a defensive lineman now, Cedric Bonner, that you can pin your ears back and eventually you're going to get to that quarterback if you keep trying. The screen pass, a very effective way to slow those big guys down.
It really is, and we called it deception plays, where we would get those guys moving upfield and take advantage of their momentum and athleticism trying to get out to the quarterback. We'll take a couple looks right here. Right here you're going to see just a basic quick pass set by Julius Thomas. Does a nice job of setting up the defensive end. Takes off up the field. Jack goes the opposite way. This is an easy walk-in touchdown. You won't see an easier one for a big man, and they love getting it into the end zone. You're going to see the same play here with the option of the fullback being taken on this play. You're going to see Odie Armstrong slip up into his pass protection responsibility area. And then he takes off right in the flat, unscathed, blockers out in front. This turns into one of the easiest touchdown passes Nick Davila has ever thrown, as you see Odie Armstrong dragging players to the end zone.
It really has been defensive play, and by defensive play of a team that is not playing in the playoffs this year. That's done by the Cleveland Gladiators. 2 stops on 4th down.
They're really forcing Orlando to play lights-out football. They're being responsible defensively, not playing like a team, not going to the postseason. They're being very disciplined, doing all the big things right. Huge stop at the end of the half there.
And a huge game for this Orlando Predator team. They need to win. They need some help to say they're playoff bound tonight. But they have come out and they've played well. It's been a Cleveland team, though, that has matched all the emotion.
They really have. But you go back to Orlando. They've been their own worst enemy all year. Turnovers, penalties. They've already had 3 penalties on returns. I mean, they've struggled all year in making the right play at the right time. And right here, they're doing the same thing. This starts out in the zone. You're going to see a sky coverage. He is the press guy right here. He wants to force the receiver and get a jam. But these 2 defensive backs are responsible to get back in halves coverage. Roll it. It never happens. The quick release inside, and they're too busy getting caught up on their men. Nobody back, and that's way too easy. You got a team on the rope struggling a little bit, and you give them a freebie like that. This is a coverage sack, but you're going to see the outside release here. Goodman's got to get inside there. He can't run up the field with a guy going downtown, but you see the pressure from the Predators. Deeker just keeps drifting it. There's got to be a clock in your mind. There's got to be a clock in your head that you know it's time to get rid of that football. It's just got to go off. You can't keep backing up and backing up.
Perfectly executed onside kick.
You're going to see great pressure on the right side. The guys are hustling down, but that's just perfectly timed. And why are you that deep? There's no reason to be that deep. Kamei attacked that ball. That was a great look by Kamei. Looked like he was kicking it deep, attacking it fiercely with the recovery, but Orlando 5 yards beyond that mark. They weren't even close to the 10-yard mark.
Said you hit on it at the very top of the show as the Gladiators go to the ground, and it has been the ongoing theme of this season and of this game, it is a team that plays with a ton of emotion. It is a team that has a lot of talent, but it is a team that just continues to play sloppy football.
They're the team that frustrates the heck out of you. He's come out to play well today. We've had him before. Back when he was with Tampa back in week 7. Look at that ball. I mean, drills it. Low kick. Not a lot of effort coming from that front line. And those guys have got to be gassed over there for the Predators. But watch the follow through. There's no finish.
No,
that was a little stiff. That was, come on. You got to do it. You got to finish. You got to see the motion man come through, miss the zone, and run the post. Well, that leaves the safety who was down collisioning the motion man to try and run out to the wall and cover one of the fastest guys on the field, and Maurice Williams. Well, I don't know if you see this, Anthony, but up the front line of this team is ready. Big hit all over the field up front, and that you got to give those guys credit for being disciplined. Darren Branch, a big block. Big number 91 in there giving a big block. I mean, this was a great effort by the guys up front, but you don't want to score on this play. You don't want to score. You want to be able to run some time off the clock on offense. If you score there, that's the only chance Orlando has to get back in the game.
And now we go back to the field of play, and Goodman scores fast, perhaps too fast. When you look at what Orlando can do, they give them 32 seconds still to work with, which, as we just saw from our highlights of the Spokane game, guys, it's a whole lot of time.
It is a lot of time with the array of onside kicks that Lewis has, but you got to take those things into account. And I know you're not always guaranteed touchdowns, but you'd like to try to run some clock. Jacob Hardwick. And once again, you're going to see TT attack and get to the post. Look at him get on the toes and leave the DB just frozen.
They'll try to do it through the air. Incomplete pass that ran 6 seconds off the clock.
It's a smart but dangerous play. You have him drop back, and what we used to do, Coach White would have me drop back as far as I could, just keep going back, and then once they got 5 yards away, I wouldn't let them get too close. Chuck it up in the stands as far as I could.
Donovan Morgan has played a lot of games. He's in his 5th year in arena football, but he hasn't played a lot this season with Rocco, and he mentioned the timing there.
It's hard to get in there and just throw a guy and want him to be almost the focal point, but you've got to get him the football somehow. And I'd like it to get him the ball on screen plays, things like that, where you can let him get his feet wet, but you can't force him in and jam him into an offense that's already on the move, if you know what I mean.
Well said, funny you say that. They just hooked up with him here on a quick hitch play. Very similar, and get him in a groove.
Anything to get it going, and that's what it takes. But to really circle that guy into that spot, he's got to play his way into that spot and kind of rightfully earn his way through it. The cohesiveness between your receivers and JJ right now, it looks like it's at an all-time high. Like these guys have been together 5-6 years. How much work have they put in?
We put in a lot of work. We don't have 10-minute meetings. We're in the meeting room at least an hour after practice, not just reviewing our practice, obviously reviewing what they've been doing the last couple of weeks. So they put the time in and it's paying off.
You have to be clear up front. The unison has to be there. You got to trust those guys. I've seen a few nose hold calls, and you know what that is, Anthony, where the nose guard grabs hold the center, doesn't allow him to come off on his block. That's happened and hasn't been called, so it's made it tough on those guys. Visualizing that soft zone, is that something you thought you'd see more of tonight, or are they just trying to throw that in right now?
Well, I really did. I thought they was going to bang me a little bit more at the line, but they've been playing off, so we really wasn't expecting that. But you have to adapt on the run.
What does Pat O'Hara need to work on the most?
I think just his mechanics. I mean, he's throwing a lot of balls off his back foot. He's really wide in his stance and throwing some sidearm shots that aren't necessary. When you're 6'5", you're a big guy. You can stand in and throw the ball over the top, and you can make some good throws. The balls aren't – he's not finishing. His accuracy's way down. I think there's a lot of talent on that team, but the one thing I'm not seeing is a tremendous amount of leadership from that team, and that's what they're going to need their quarterback to step up, and they're going to find a way to have some confidence or get some confidence in the young man, and he's got to make some plays.
Said on the other side of the field, you got to be impressed with Iowa. Back-to-back road wins in tough places.
Absolutely, and this one right here even more so. I think just because it's a gritty win. The game turned ugly on both sides. It got, defensive handed early in the second half, offenses weren't clicking, but they were able to grind it out, get a win here against a physical team. And anytime you do that, you can get yourself to 2-0 for the first time since 1999. That's awesome. So is it J.J. Rattering gunslinger or fullback / Earl Campbell style, 4 rushing touchdowns?
Well,
I mean, what's going on, man? You been in the weight room this offseason?
from 18 inches, it's pretty tough. But much further than that, I'm not sure what would happen.